So this is part one of a bunch of videos on trauma and inherited trauma, and in this case, why you can't avoid going over and over and over a trauma that happens, and why that's a good thing. So we tend to think that when a trauma happens, we're supposed to get over it, right? It's that whole very British keep calm and carry on thing. It's that whole don't worry about it, you're fine thing. It's that whole, well, why are you fussing about it? You got through it. And that is an excellent survival mechanism. It is not an excellent thriving mechanism. And what we are meant to do in a state of thriving is we are meant to process the trauma. Not because we're indulgent, not because we haven't got anything better to do, but because when we process a trauma, we get information from it that keeps us alive and well more easily. So every mammal in the world, when a trauma occurs, is drawn to replicating it over and over again. So maybe that means that you will tell the story over and over again. Maybe it means that if you're really trying hard to avoid it, you just end up going over and over it again in your head more times than you care to. Sometimes you might notice yourself describing the situation and you're actually physicalizing what happened to you. You're saying, yeah, and then the guy got out of his car and he went, hey, and you are playing the parts. You are playing the part of the dangerous person, the predator. You are playing the part of what happened to you. You are doing it over and over again, in part to get the trauma chemistry out of your body, because otherwise it stays in your body and that leads to a whole slew of other issues. Or if you don't process it over and over and over again, then your nervous system says, well, you don't know how to fix it. You don't know how to make sure that it ends better. You don't know how to be safe in the future. And so it will draw you towards running into the same scenario over and over again. So that is why when something happens and you are pulled to talk about it, you are pulled to go back and experience a similar situation in a toned down way where you can be safe. When you come into a session or you go into a group and you say, oh, this is silly, I should be over this by now. No, you shouldn't. It's there for a reason, and your nervous system is going to insist that you get that reason, you learn that lesson before it allows you to let it go. And that's a beautiful, very, very useful thing.